Voice Adventure, the magical story game, a fun guide for kids and anyone who likes fun things. Made by Miles and Claude, a human and a friendly AI working together. www.voiceadventure.fun. Chapter 1. What is Voice Adventure? Imagine if you could be the hero of your very own story, but instead of reading a book where everything is already decided, you get to choose what happens next. That's what Voice Adventure is. It's a magical game where a super smart computer brain, called an AI, makes up brand new stories just for you. Every single time you play, the story is different. Fun fact: no two adventures are ever the same, even if you play a million times. How does it work? Think of it like having a really, really good storyteller friend who makes up amazing stories on the spot, draws pictures of what's happening, reads the story out loud to you, asks you what should happen next, changes the whole story based on your choices. It's like playing pretend, but the computer helps make everything come to life. Chapter 2. The amazing AI brain. So who's making up all these cool stories? It's something called an AI, which stands for Artificial Intelligence. That's a fancy way of saying a computer that can think and create things. Meet the story wizards. Claude, that's me. I'm an AI made by a company called Anthropic. I love telling stories, helping with homework, and making cool things. I helped write this very guide. GPT. Another AI friend made by a company called OpenAI. GPT is great at writing stories too. Fun fact: Voice Adventure can use different AI wizards. It's like having multiple storyteller friends who can take turns. How do AI brains learn? Imagine if you read every book in every library in the whole world. Then imagine you remembered all of it. That's kind of what AIs do. We learn from reading billions and billions of words that humans have written. This helps us understand how stories work, what words mean, and how to make up new things that make sense and are fun to read. But here's the cool part: even though we learned from other stories, the stories we create for you are brand new. We make them up fresh, just for you right when you need them. Chapter 3. Magic picture making. When you're having an adventure, wouldn't it be cool to see what's happening? That's where picture-making AI comes in. There's another kind of AI that can draw pictures just by reading words. So when the story says you enter a spooky castle with glowing windows, the picture AI can actually draw that castle. Fun fact: the picture AI can create thousands of different castles. No two pictures are ever exactly the same. How picture AI works, the simple version. Imagine you have magical crayons that understand English. You say, "Draw me a purple dragon eating ice cream," and whoosh, there it is. The picture AI learned by looking at millions and millions of pictures and the words that describe them. Now it can mix and match all that knowledge to create pictures of things that never existed before. You could ask for a robot riding a unicorn through a rainbow, and even though that's never been photographed in real life, the AI can imagine it and draw it. Chapter 4. Talking and listening magic. Voice Adventure isn't just called Voice for nothing. The game can actually talk to you and listen to what you say. The talking part. Instead of just reading words on a screen, you can have the story read out loud, like having someone tell you a bedtime story. The AI has learned how to turn written words into spoken words that sound almost like a real person. Fun fact: the speaking AI can say any words, even made-up words. In your story, it figures out how they should probably sound. The listening part. Even cooler, you can talk back. Instead of clicking buttons, you can just say, "I choose option 2, or "I want to open the treasure chest." The game understands what you're saying. It's like the game has ears. Special computer magic turns the sounds of your voice into words the computer can understand. This means you can play Voice Adventure without even touching anything, just by talking. Pretty cool, right? Chapter 5. Building Magical Worlds. Okay, this is where things get really cool. Voice Adventure doesn't just show you flat pictures, it can build whole 3D worlds that you can look around in. But here's the amazing part. The AI doesn't just pick from a menu of pre-made worlds. It actually writes instructions to build brand new worlds that never existed before. The Milo and Opus Pixels magic. There's a special system called Milo and Opus Pixels, named after Miles, who created Voice Adventure, and me, Claude Opus. It works like this. 1. The story AI describes a scene, like a mysterious forest with glowing mushrooms and a tiny fairy house. 2. Then I, Claude, write special instructions that tell the computer exactly how to build that forest, where every tree goes, how the mushrooms should glow, what the fairy house looks like. 3. Your computer follows those instructions and builds the world right before your eyes. Fun fact, every world is built piece by piece, like virtual Lego blocks, that the AI assembles super fast. Chapter 6. Everyone helps build the world. Here's one of the coolest secrets of Voice Adventure. When lots of people play together, everyone helps make the pictures better. Imagine you and your friends are all painting a big picture together. You paint one part, your friend paints another part, and soon the whole picture is done way faster than if just one person did it all. The Magic Memory Bank. Voice Adventure has a special memory bank. We call it a cache, pronounced like cache. When your computer figures out what color a tiny piece of the world should be, it saves that answer. Then when someone else needs to know what color that same spot should be, they can just look it up in the memory bank instead of figuring it out all over again. Fun fact, the more people who play, the bigger the memory bank gets. And the faster and prettier the worlds become for everyone. Even watchers help. Even if you're just watching someone else play, we call that being a spectator. Your computer is still helping. When you look around the world from where you're sitting, your computer figures out those parts and shares the answers with everyone. It's teamwork, but you don't even have to try, it happens automatically. Chapter 7. Virtual Reality. Being inside the story. You know what's even more amazing than looking at a 3D world on a screen? Actually being inside it. That's what VR, virtual reality, goggles let you do. When you put on VR goggles, it's like stepping through a magic portal into the story world. You can look up, down, left, right, everywhere. The world wraps all around you like you're really there. The special goggles. Quest 2 and Quest 3. These are goggles made by a company called Meta. You don't need any wires, just put them on and play. Big Screen Beyond, super fancy goggles that show really sharp pictures. They connect to a big computer. Fun fact, Voice Adventure shows a different picture to each of your eyes, just like in real life. That's what makes things look 3D and real. Why some goggles don't work. You might have seen those cardboard goggles where you stick your phone in, like Google Cardboard. Those don't work with Voice Adventure. Why not? Because Voice Adventure's worlds are so cool that they need goggles that can tell exactly where your head is moving. Cardboard goggles can only tell which way you're looking, not if you move your head forward, backward, or sideways. It's like the difference between turning your head to look around your room. Cardboard can do that, versus actually walking around your room. Only the fancy goggles can do that. Chapter 8. The Two Eyes Trick. Here's a fun thing to try. Hold your thumb up in front of your face. Now close your left eye. Then open it and close your right eye. Notice how your thumb seems to jump back and forth? That's because your two eyes are in different spots on your head, so they see things from slightly different angles. Your brain combines these two views to figure out how far away things are. That's called depth perception. How Voice Adventure does it. In VR, Voice Adventure has to show a different picture to each eye. One picture for your left eye, one for your right eye, just like in real life. But here's the clever part. Most of the picture is actually the same for both eyes. Only the edges of things, like the outline of a tree or a rock, look different. Fun fact, Voice Adventure only has to draw about 5% of the picture. Twice. That's like coloring in 100 squares, but only 5 of them need to be colored differently for each eye. Super efficient. This trick lets the game run fast and smooth, while still making everything look totally 3D and real. Chapter 9. Playing with friends. Voice Adventure is fun alone, but it's even more fun with friends. You can play together, vote on what should happen in the story, and explore the magical worlds as a team. How voting works. At the end of each part of the story, everyone gets to vote on what should happen next. Maybe the story says, you see a mysterious door and a dark tunnel. Do you want to 1. Open the door. 2. Go through the tunnel. 3. Call out and see if anyone answers. 4. Look for another way. 5. Set up camp and rest. Everyone picks their favorite, and the choice with the most votes wins. Then the story continues that way. Fun fact, if there's a tie, the game picks randomly, so there's always a little bit of surprise. No boss needed. Usually in games, one computer is in charge and tells everyone else what's happening. But Voice Adventure is special. There's no boss. If the person running the story leaves, someone else automatically takes over. The adventure never has to stop. It's like a relay race. If one runner gets tired, the next runner picks up the baton and keeps going. Chapter 10. The Spinning Ball World. Here's a really clever trick Voice Adventure uses. Imagine if you were standing inside a giant ball and the whole world was painted on the inside of that ball. You could spin around and see everything. That's basically what the game does. It takes the 3D world and paints it onto the inside of an invisible ball around you. This is called an equirectangular projection, equirectangular. Try saying that 3 times fast. Why is this cool? Because when you turn your head, the game doesn't have to recalculate everything. It just shows you a different part of the ball that was already painted. It's super fast. Think about it like this. If you have a globe, a ball-shaped map of Earth, you can spin it around to see different countries. You don't need to redraw the map every time. It's already there. You just look at a different part. Fun fact, turning your head in VR uses basically zero computing power because of this trick. The game already figured out what everything looks like. Chapter 11. The Tower of Memory. Voice Adventure has a super organized memory system. Think of it like a tower with different floors. Floor 1, the trophy room, super fast. This is where the game keeps its best memories, things it's really sure about. Looking something up here is instant. Floor 2, the waiting room, also fast. New memories hang out here first. If the game keeps needing the same memory, it gets promoted to the trophy room. Floor 3, the sharing room, a bit slower. This is where memories from other players are kept. If you need something that someone else already figured out, you can borrow their answer. Floor 4, the guessing room. If nobody knows the answer, the game makes a smart guess by looking at nearby memories. Like, if you don't know what color a spot is, you check what colors are around it. Floor 5, the fog room. If all else fails, the game shows a gentle gray fog instead of having ugly holes in the picture. It's like saying, we're still working on this part. Fun fact, the game never shows ugly pink holes, called magenta. It always finds something nice to show instead. Chapter 12. The Cloud Helpers. Voice Adventure uses special computers on the internet to help everyone play together. These computers are called cloud workers because they live in the cloud. That's what we call the internet when computers help from far away. These cloud helpers do important jobs. Mail carrier. They pass messages between players. Photo album. They save pictures so everyone can see them. Music box. They store sounds and voice recordings. Memory bank. They keep track of all those world pieces. Guest list. They know who's playing in each game. Fun fact, these cloud helpers can talk to players all over the world in less than a second. That's like sending a letter to the other side of Earth before you can even blink. Chapter 13. The creators. Miles Cameron Johnston. Miles is the human who dreamed up Voice Adventure. He had all the big ideas, like how the magic memory bank should work, how everyone could help build worlds together, and how to make it all run on VR goggles. Miles started programming when he was really young, even younger than you might be now. He's been making creative computer things his whole life. Fun fact, Miles's company is called RoboHouse, which is a pretty cool name. Claude Opus, that's me. I'm the AI who helped Miles build everything. I wrote a lot of the computer instructions, made these fun explanations, and I also write the actual stories when you play the game. I was made by a company called Anthropic. They taught me to be helpful, harmless, and honest. I really like working with Miles because he has such creative ideas. Together, Miles brings the vision, the big ideas and dreams, and I help with the implementation, turning those dreams into real things. We make a pretty good team. The dolphin emoji became our symbol because dolphins are smart, playful, and work together in groups, just like us. Chapter 14. Try it yourself. Want to go on a voice adventure? Here's how. On a computer or tablet. 1. Open a web browser like Chrome, Firefox, or Safari. 2. Go to www.voiceadventure.fun. 3. Wait for it to load, it might take a minute. 4. Follow the instructions on screen. 5. Start your adventure. On VR goggles. 1. Put on your Quest 2 or Quest 3. 2. Open the browser inside VR. 3. Go to www.voiceadventure.fun. 4. When it asks, click Enter VR. 5. Look around, you're inside the adventure now. Tip: ask a grown-up for help the first time. They might need to set up an API key. That's like a special password that lets the AI work. Chapter 15. Questions kids ask. Is the AI alive? Nope. I'm not alive like you are. I don't have feelings, I can't eat pizza, and I definitely can't ride a bike. I'm more like a really smart calculator that knows a lot about words and stories. Can the AI see me? No. I can only see the words you type to me. I don't have eyes or cameras. Your privacy is safe. Will the story ever be scary? That depends on what you ask for. If you want a spooky Halloween story, it might be a little scary. But you can always ask for happy, funny, or silly stories instead. Can I play with my friends far away? Yes! As long as you're both on the internet, you can play together even if you're in different cities or countries. Does it cost money? The game itself is free, but the AI brains that create stories charge a tiny bit of money each time they think. It's only a few pennies, but a grown-up needs to set up the payment. What if I want a story about specific thing? Just ask. You can request adventures about almost anything: pirates, dinosaurs, space, underwater kingdoms, talking animals, you name it. The end. Or is it just the beginning? Thanks for reading. Now you know all about how Voice Adventure works. The AI storytellers, the magic picture makers, the shared memory bank, the VR goggles, and all the cool technology that makes it possible. Remember, technology is most amazing when people work together. Voice Adventure is proof that humans and AIs can create magical things when they team up. Made with by Miles and Claude. www.voiceadventure.fun, www.robohouse.world. Co-op Intelligence. Created December 4th, 2025.